Yo YouTube, what's going on, and welcome back to another VCT Champions Paris little video. This time we are going to be talking about DRX. I'm in the jersey. I'm ready to yap for a solid 10-15 minutes because a lot of people are underestimating this team. You know, what are my expectations? Why is the community and analysts, casters, talent, etc. kind of underrating this team so harsh? You know, Platchat did their kind of Champions Paris power rankings. They've got them 14th. They've got them lower than DRG with a sub. They've got them lower than EDG. They've got them lower than Giants. Like, we were just saying that kind of Pacific was the best region in the world, and you know, we've got them 14th. I feel like that's crazy harsh. C9 did a video. They've got them going O2 barbecue, and I don't really understand it, because I can understand from a form perspective and, you know, off of recent results, they haven't looked great. You know, they've just looked really inconsistent. You know, Estrella's not been fragging and calling the best, kind of having rough games from time to time. Freeing's not at the form that he had at the start of the year. But it's champs, you know? Like, it's the last global event of the year. Nobody expected Edward Gaming to win last year, and they did the unthinkable. China won a champions before Pacific. Like, it's insane to me. But we need to talk, because every single one of these players now has experience. They're all cracked aimers. Mako's been around for the longest than maybe 85% of the VCT pros attending the event. Like, this team has so much going for it, and I feel like we're underestimating them so harshly. You know, I get it. Their opening matches against Team Liquid, basically EMEA's best team. They're the #1 seed, so I can understand the criticism and the hype around the team. But if I'm in Team Liquid's position, right, let's say I'm the coach, I'm going, right, we're playing DRX. Well, they choked in the playoffs. How do we ante them? They were the best Abyss team before Abyss was taken out. Okay. They've got a roster change. You heard me. We'll talk about that shortly. And don't get me wrong, I think the Team Liquid players and coaches are insane. Kiko is, for me, one of the top 3 players in EMEA. And if Team Liquid do go ahead and win the event, just in a hypothetical, in my mind, Kiko will be MVP. He has some of the best raw aim I've ever seen in my life. And as a fellow Brit, I love that. But as we were kind of talking about, the Pacific playoffs, the stage 2, it was okay for DRX until the playoffs. You know, opening match, kind of lose against Gen G. It's Gen G. You kind of take it on the chin. Nongshim you beat 2-1. Team Secret, RRQ. RRQ, they went to the final. Okay. GE, 2-0. Don't get me wrong, I think they probably had an easier group. I think they should have won all these games, don't get me wrong. But we get to the playoffs. It's 2-1 against Talon. I don't need to get into the drama behind that. RRQ, that's a big game to lose. Estrella playing against his former team. It's a spot to go further into qualification for champs. So I get it. You know, it makes sense to underestimate this team, but why are we wiping out all of our kind of knowledge and experience from previous times and years and events, and even just earlier this year? They were the first seed coming into Bangkok. They won Pacific. They were the Pacific champions. And then they had a really big issue with kind of flashback and, you know, kind of, he had the whole mental health thing, which you never like to see happen in esports. So he had to take some time away. You've got to emergency sub Bane in, and then you want to pick up Estrella to start IGL in, right? Pick him up, right? We'll pick up a new rookie that no one has really heard of and spoken about. So I understand that Termi got a lot of criticism for this, but who is this kid? And why are DRX bringing him in at arguably the highest pressure situation possible? Now, as you can see here, and this was literally today, probably 10 hours ago, okay? So it took me some time, but hey-ho. Tae-hee Yun, DRX roster status was changed from reserve to active. Who is this guy? Has Estrella been dropped? Who on the team is changing roles? You know, what is going on? Termi has been under criticism for the longest time now, literally almost since the start. He's had criticism of roster moves, of compositions, of ideas, of methodologies, etc., etc. But I just feel like we can't criticize him. Like, I mean, of course you can criticize him, but he's still one of the GOATs, you know? Like, he's been there since the start of the game, and he's still there now, and he's still taking his team to international events. He's still performing incredibly high. He's putting his team in the 3rd or 4th position of Pacific almost every single year, and that's not an easy feat to do. You know, Sliggy recently said, you know, is this year a disappointment for Sentinels? And he's like, no, if you get into almost every international event, that's a huge achievement. And I think, you know, granted, they missed out on Toronto, but, like, they had so many hurdles to overcome. So I believe in this guy. I think if I'm Team Liquid and, you know, I'm anti-stratting them, DRX have brought in a new player. They've lost their previous IGL, who, let's assume Estrella's out, okay? We've lost Estrella. Abyss is back in. Icebox is out. This new player has the agent pool of Yoru, Viper, Sova. So they're probably going to be playing double dive or double duelist at least. Could be playing double controller, could be playing double recon. We have no idea. He's arguably the most flexible player that DRX is going to have, but he's a fragger. He can kill, man. And I think if DRX are coming in, unexpectedly kind of going, well, we came here off chat points, we didn't qualify, we should already be home kind of practicing for next year, but we're here. Let's make the most of it. And that's why I've kind of got him to upset a lot of the teams at Champs. This is all depending on Flicker, by the way. If he turns up and he's a little bit shaky, really nervous, having a hard time adapting to the stage, it's probably going to look quite rough. I'll be honest. But DRX also have 4 other players that can take over the game. Hyunmin is one of the most cracked aimers I've seen in Pacific. I think some of the things that he's able to do are illegal. They shouldn't be allowed. Mako is the big brain Viper player. Him versus Nats is going to be an insane matchup. You've got Freeing, who, don't forget, was up for Rookie of the Year at the start of the year. And he's insane, you know. Like, people thought he was cheating. They were like, where is this guy from? How have we found him? Flashback is an incredible Sentinel player that also has insane mechanics. I just think, are we really going to rank them so low? And I'm going to die on this hill, okay? If people watch this video in the next week or so, people are going to go, damn, this guy's stupid, you know. T1 or Team Liquid, sorry, they 2-0'd DRX. And I'll go, okay, you know, that's unlucky. But I can't doubt this team. I feel like they're going to upset them because, okay, call me delusional, call me biased, but I'm also logical, and I just don't feel like Team Liquid have the advantage into this. Like, DRX, you're the underdog. You've had so much anti on Team Liquid. Team Liquid played through all out stage 2. They got all the way to the final in the playoffs. They've played almost every single map in the pool. The only question mark for DRX is Abyss, and they were the best Abyss team almost when the map last left. So it's like, okay, well, there's a big question mark, but Abyss is a relatively straightforward, you know, kind of map. It's not difficult. It's basically the same as Icebox, just it's not worse, but it's not far off. So yeah, I just don't think it's fair to underestimate DRX. I feel like they're going to come in swinging, and I feel like they're going to look like a completely new DRX. And if DRX lose, it's shit, of course, but hey-ho, that's what happens in competition. But what I don't want to happen is streamers, fans, watch this game and go, this is what we expected. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think DRX is going to shock people. They're going to scare people. And I think they're going to go, wait, DRX are back. And I'm just going to go, I don't think they ever left. I think they just had a hard time, which happens to everyone. Like, of course, if you look at the map pool, I don't think this means shit. Because if I'm looking at these compositions, okay, this, that, okay, cool. This could completely change going into Champs because of Flicker. They could pull out a double duelist on Bind, which, you know, people might not be used to. They might run double Senti on Haven. They could do anything. And Team Liquid can't anti that. Nobody can anti that. Because only DRX know what they're going to play. And don't get me wrong, I think DRX could just keep the same standard comps, and I think, okay, cool, fair enough. But I don't think they'll do that. I think that Termi has a pretty good read coming into this event. I think he's going to have worked harder for this event than ever. You know, if we kind of look at their recent kind of games, you know, the playoffs, right? Okay, let's have a look. Well, the big thing that jumps out to me is Estrella going 13-34, and let's say that Estrella has been, you know, kind of benched for this team or for this event. I think a lot of things would change. You know, Estrella, to me, he didn't IGL as well as Mako, and he also didn't put the same amount of numbers. And I think if you remove Estrella and you put in Bane or Flicker, I think it's a different story. You know, I wasn't sure on the Estrella signing either. You know, I almost thought it was what's the need? Granted, they probably weren't sure what their roster situation was like, but I feel like they dug themselves a hole instead of getting themselves out of one. But like what? We're losing both pistols on Icebox. Well, that's not great. We win a pistol, we get ecoed, and then we eco again. Okay, cool. And then all of a sudden we lose another pistol. So it's like, to me, they need to fix the pistols, and I think a lot of these stats in games can change. You know, we lose a pistol, we lose the pistol. We lose the pistol, we win a pistol. Like, we lose a pistol, we lose a pistol. Like, pistol seems to be the big kind of kryptonite for this team. But I think fondly of DRX, and I do feel like they're going to do something crazy. The last game that Flicker did play for this team, he did perform quite poorly. 11-30, it's not great. But one, it was EWC. Who gives a shit? And two, I think it was probably a great experience for him. You know, you're on a big stage, you're playing with the team, you know, you've got that LAN environment. I think you are playing against Sentinels, don't get me wrong. And I think if we look at this BBL game, for example, he played pretty decently. And I think the big win condition for me is if I want to see DRX win this first game, Flicker has to be online. And I think as long as he is online, I feel like we are going to get a banger series. So yeah, I'm excited. You know, like what we've got Fring and Bane on double Senti. You know, Sunset, we're running double Senti. We're playing double Duelist. We're playing double Initiator. We're playing double Controller. Nobody knows what they're doing. Termi is cooking. DRX are cooking, and nobody knows what they're going to do. And that is a really big factor to upsetting Team Liquid, in my opinion, and every other team. Like, if we look at their kind of bracket, I think it's relatively straightforward. Like, what, you upset Team Liquid, you're going to play against NRG or EDG. I don't understand the hype behind NRG. I think, yeah, they are really strong, but I also feel like, let's be honest, Ethan's T-side calling, I'm still not too positive on. You know, like, that's not me being cruel or anything. I think it's just, I've got that NRG 2024 trauma. So I think NRG are a big question mark for me. But yeah, I don't know. I think fondly of DRX. I do feel like they can upset massively. I think they can get first place in their group. And I'm ready to see DRX kind of prove the haters wrong. I feel like it's time. I feel like Termi, with all the talent beef as well in the community and whatnot, I think he's ready to upset some people. And an angry Termi is not what I would want to go up against. But yeah, that's this short little video about Champions Paris and DRX. Let me know your thoughts. Call me delusional. Call me stupid. Come back to this video in, what, a week and say, damn, Ethan, you were completely wrong about this. And I'll go, yeah, well, kind of sucks, but hey ho, I'll die on this hill. I love the team. But yeah, let me know if you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe. Let me know if there's any other videos you want to see in the lead up to it. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day or night, and I'll see you later.